Yeah, as Steve said, we've barely been here a day and just have seen so much of the devastation that is really hard to grasp. You see these trees just uprooted from their very base up, and when they fall, histories that are generations long fall, right? And those aren't easily replaced. Um, and just all the lives, all the histories, all of the generations that have been here, um, that don't have a place to be anymore, except where these communities are coming together, where these distribution centers are making sure that the people here, that the communities here have medication and clean, potable water, and clothing and diapers and food that is culturally relevant and appropriate. This morning, we had the chance to spend a couple of hours with farmers, mainly undocumented immigrant farmers in Hendersonville, who, we were working with them on their land. They actually came together during the pandemic as a group, as a collective, because the foods that were made available to them during the pandemic, through food pantries and all of these efforts, weren't quite the foods that their community required. And so they started to provide the foods that their families and communities wanted. And through that effort, they built these relationships, started farming their own food, growing their own food, both for themselves, but for their broader immigrant communities, about on a half acre, corn, okra, jalapeno, avocado, like growing so much beautiful nourishment, and all of that was destroyed. Just years of effort and community and nourishment gone in a matter of hours. And so who is there for this community is themselves, right? They are the ones reclaiming what is to be reclaimed. They're the ones repairing the land, salvaging materials to rebuild it once again. And isn't that just kind of how it's always been? This isn't the story that we're told, but isn't this how it's always been? That those who are closest to the suffering, closest to the injustices of the society, are also those who rebuild it from the ground up. And isn't that also where God tells us that they are, to lay the foundation of what is new? And what's been moving for me over the past year, I've been connecting with different communities across the country, learning about what they did during the pandemic to keep their communities safe, to make sure that they weren't forgotten, that they had the information they needed in language, right, to know what was happening and to make their way through it somehow. And the meeting of these needs is not a marginal responsibility. It is the most important thing. And through the relationships we build, through that work of everyday providing, that's when our political clarity is also emerging. That's when we can see that these needs that we are meeting, they are our demands of the society that we deserve. And they are how we will, this kind of coming together of the work we're doing together, in the gaps that are in the deep gaps that are created by an unjust society. We are the ones who are filling them, and that's where the new society will be born.